What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another live show. I'm going to give people a minute to hop on to tune in live. Get all my notifications turned off here. How is everyone doing this evening? We're going to talk some Q4 chit chat. Kind of a lot to deal with Q4 open Q&A style here on the show. We're going live inside of the Facebook group as well as the YouTube channel. So if you guys have any Q4 related questions, we're going to dive in and cover all of those here. But we're going to give people a minute to hop on live. Just finished up really solid day here at the warehouse. I don't even know how many units we did today, at least 1,000 units out for clients. I was able to get 100-ish FBM orders out for myself, which I know is not a crazy number, especially some of these people I'm seeing on Instagram right now. And we're going to talk a little bit about this, but you're seeing some of these numbers get put up for Q4 on Instagram from FBM. It's just nuts. 300, 400, 500, 600 orders per day. So we're going to dive in, talk about all that fun stuff. What's up, Adam? Since I show up early, just me, I get a good seat. First row seat, my friend. So quick audio video check. Someone please comment. Let me know if everything is okay. While people are hopping on, I'm going to kick off my shoes. Get cozy. Crack a drink. Don't want to do it too close to the microphone. It's not quite the beverage of choice. Still sticking with my seltzer water. I'm on day 70. I know. Today's day 71 of 75 hard. So Friday is my last day. And then I get to have a real drink. A grown-up one. Awesome. What's up, guys? And if you're on Facebook and commenting, unless you grant permission for StreamYard to access your page, it just says Facebook user. I could just pull it up on my phone like I've done before. So let me just do that real quick. It's going to be really loud. Okay, there we go. Couldn't load post. What do you mean? All right, there we go. Volume's down. All right, cool. What's up, Brenda and Chris? I see you guys over in the Facebook group. So we're going to dive in, chit chat, open Q&A sesh. What is 75 Hard? 75 Hard is a program put together by Andy Frisella. Word of caution: if you do not like F-bombs, just don't listen to this guy. But I love F-bombs, so all right up my alley. He put together a program which is all about building mental toughness and ultimately just self-discipline to show up and do a set amount of tasks each day, no matter what the circumstance. And trust me, we've been through some circumstances over these last 75 days. So it's a real quick recap for those that are interested. 2 workouts per day, 45 minutes minimum each. One of them has to be outside, rain, snow, shine, doesn't matter. And they don't have to be 45-minute intense workouts by any means. People hear 45-minute, two 45-minute workouts and immediately just get turned off. They're like, I'm not going to do 2 workouts a day. That's not healthy. I do my normal weightlifting routine, and then in the evening, I just do a 45-minute walk. And I've done that for literally 71 days straight. So I've walked at least 2 miles a day. Now I've been jogging for the last few weeks. I'm getting back into some running stuff. I feel fantastic because of all this stuff that I've been doing. So 2 45-minute workouts per day, read 10 minutes, read 10 pages per day out of some type of business, personal development book, basically anything that's nonfiction. And then you do follow a diet, any diet. He doesn't give a prescribed like low carb, like all that kind of crap. You basically choose any diet that you want and you stick with it. No cheat meals. That was a big one for me because I was the type that would go 2 weeks kind of on track with my diet. And then I would be 1 cheat meal or 1 cheat day, which would then turn into 2 days in a row. And then I would just fall off track. I yo-yoed like that for many years. Fortunately, I can now proudly say I'm 71 days in, not a single cheat meal. I haven't had pizza, burgers, anything like that in 71 days. No alcohol is on there as well. That one was a very difficult one for me because I'm the type of drinker where I would just have 2 drinks at the end of each night to kind of unwind. I haven't been drunk in like 5 years. Do not enjoy that feeling. Had zero desire to get drunk ever. So that for me was very difficult because that was my vice to unwind my brain at the end of each night. And then you take a progress photo at beginning of each day. So that is a recap of what 75 hard is. I'm on day 71. I feel phenomenal. Energy is on point. Mental clarity is there. All that fun stuff, as you guys can imagine. So let me dive into the topic of the night. And this is just kind of open Q&A sesh about Q4, really. I'm going to be doing several videos. I think I might just stick with live streaming for now. I've been trying to get back into, recording video content, and I have a ton of footage recorded. It's just the sitting down and editing and all that back end stuff that I just don't really have a desire to do right now. Kind of lacking time, as you can imagine. So for me, it's a lot easier just to turn everything on right here and go live with you guys. So I might be doing several live streams if you're good with it. If you guys want to see some more videos. So I'll be going live a lot more, a couple days a week for you. I'm covering different types of topics. But for tonight, it's the main topic, and then we can rabbit trail off of that. 2 common mistakes that not only I'm seeing right now with a lot of sellers. Obviously, we now run a prep center full-time on top of our own reselling business. So I deal firsthand with many, many types of sellers, all the way from brand new person that they're sending in their first batch of 100 units, all the way to the people that do several thousand units a week. We've seen and dealt with a lot of those. And I'm here to kind of bring everything I've learned and hone it down into these condensed topics for you guys. Yes. Shout out to Adam. Oh man, $4.99 super chat for the real drink, which will be tequila. I'm going to get the Rocks tequila. There we go. Gotta support my man, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Oh my gosh. Here's it's just going to say Facebook user. But this is actually one of my best friends in life, Mr. Curtis. Curtis is one of those guys that we all have those list of friends that you can go 6 months without seeing or talking to. And we live in different states, so it's not like we just see each other all the time, but it's one of those friends that you can just go months and months and months without talking. And the second you connect, it's like no time went by. Curtis, thanks for being here, man. Definitely miss you. So I'm going to condense all the different things I've been learning about, not just running the prep center, but scaling our own Amazon business. We're on pace to double what we did last year. I think we may, as of this week, doubled what we did in revenue for Amazon last year, this year versus last year. So I'm just trying to condense as much as I can into these videos for you guys. 2 common mistakes. Number 1, playing the comparison game. And as I list these off, be brutally honest with yourself and comment below. If you want some actual accountability, comment below if you have fallen victim to one of these mistakes or both of them. I am going to bring a lot of topics up, not just in this video, but in the videos coming after this one, based on what I have gone through. So any mistakes, any failures, anything that I'm bringing up are things I've gone through myself. Some of these things you will continue to go through because it's very difficult to get to the point where you just get over it, right? You hear some people it's like, oh, just get over it. Easy for some, a little bit more difficult for others. Number 1, comparing yourself to other people. This, I feel like, is more so on the Instagram side of content, as far as just diving in and comparing yourself. The thing with YouTube is you can watch YouTube videos. Can you guys hear my boy right now? Titus is out there screaming. Welcome to our family-run business, ladies and gentlemen. So the thing with comparing yourself, I'm seeing it more so on the Instagram side. Not when I say seeing it, I'm not like putting blame on other people on Instagram. I'm saying I've seen it most in myself when I am in Instagram world, when I'm scrolling and seeing other people's stuff. So the thing that I find myself comparing myself to are, especially like right now, you see a lot of people crushing fulfillment by merchant, FBM or merchant fulfilled orders. That is where instead of sending, let's just say we got this. P.S. Shout out to my man, Kenny, real quick for my Poke fanatics. Got a hold of 2 of these evolution boxes. I originally thought I was going to break them open. I think I might just keep these ones sealed, put them up on the display shelves here. So shout out to my man Kenny for hooking me up with these. So if I were to take this and slap a sticker on it, send it into Amazon, and then it's fulfilled by Amazon, it's FBA. If I'm doing FBM, that means I keep it here with me. I list it usually just through my app. I'll list it right there as merchant fulfilled. When it sells, I package it up, ship it direct to customer. So Amazon's not even in, like, we're selling on their platform, but it's not going to be them fulfilling it. So FBM orders are on fire right now. There's so many great opportunities to sell merchant fulfilled. And what's happening is I'll scroll through Instagram, right? And I'll make the mistake that I'm talking about here, which is comparison. Now, I put out about 100 FBM orders today, right? Which is not bad. For me, that's damn good. And so in my head, I'm so proud that I'm putting out 100, or I don't care if it's 50 or 10. Like, I remember the first couple, like 2 or 3 FBM orders I ever did. I was so pumped for those first couple orders. And you'll feel so proud about it until you scroll through and see someone that's like, oh my gosh, I just had 300 orders go out today. And then you're like, oh. And then you belittle yourself. I can't be the only one here that's done this, right? I think most sellers have fallen in this trap a time or two. Very difficult to ever get over. You would think after 5 years being involved with Amazon FBA, I would learn to just get over it. I've gotten much, much better at understanding they're in a far different world, far different position than I am. Maybe they've put more money into it. Maybe they found some better products. Who knows, right? This all comes down to putting your blinders on and staying in your lane and being damn proud of the fact that if you did 1 order or 5,000 orders, be proud of that. Learn to acknowledge where you are in your journey and be proud of that. Having that mentality has changed everything for me, especially over the last 6 months. I've been picking up our own Amazon game here. And really for me, I can say for me, I'm crushing it right now. Now, my crushing it numbers may be a fraction of some other large seller, but I don't care about the large seller, right? Kudos to them. They're crushing their game. I'm crushing mine because my blinders are on. I'm focused on the person that's in the mirror. That's your competition. So when you find yourself scrolling through Instagram and, you might say, oh my gosh, good for them. They're so lucky. Like, think about your terminology that you're using. And ultimately what I have found, being on both sides, where now our sales are almost double from what we did last year. And I've been on the side our first couple of years where we only did a couple $1,000s in sales. I know what both ends feel like. And I can tell you there's one major difference between the big guys and where you may be. It's capital. Shocking. I know, right? The people who are spending $50,000 a month on inventory are probably going to be putting up way bigger numbers than those who are spending $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 a month. That right there, when you wrap your head around it, is going to help you tremendously with stopping the comparison game. We got a special guest. Hello, special guest.
Hi.
Wow, you look so happy. Can you guys hear the kids out there? What happened?
I don't know.
Hyla's losing her shit.
She's losing it. So I don't know where to look. Where's your camera?
Camera's up
there.
here. Trista's not used to the new setup. This is
What's
legit,
happening?
right? Camera's there. It's like I'm so used to using the webcam, so we keep looking straight up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where the camera's at. Microphone.
Hi, everybody.
It's all good.
Don't compare yourself to us because we got screaming kids. So
Oh
it's
man.
not all rainbows over here today.
New lady friend. Why, yes. Hello, new lady friend. I love Adam.
This is the older, tired her version of the wife.
Oh my gosh. It's so fun.
Everybody's here.
So yeah, that's what we're talking about is comparison.
Comparison?
Comparison and comparing mesh together as comparison.
That's a fun word.
Yeah, I just made that one.
Good job.
Oh man. Do you compare yourself when you scroll through Instagram?
Oh my gosh.
Never, right?
I have had to stop following people because it's bad. It's so bad for your mental health. It's, whether it's on
it's a trap.
Personal level or a business level, which, being kind of in two niches, like we do Amazon and we have a prep center, but also Poshmark and eBay. Like there's plenty of opportunities to be like so mean to yourself because it's just everyone's winning on Facebook or Instagram. So of course it's hard.
The crappy
So
part.
don't do that. Just unfollow them. If they don't inspire you beyond like just inspiring bad thoughts, then just get rid of them.
That's actually really solid. Like I found peace.
I gotta
Mic
go.
drop. Sometimes I've like found myself after months.
Yeah.
Certain people I would scroll
I'm
through.
not in frame, and I feel like my head's cut off.
Hold
It's
up.
fine. I gotta go. So
There we go.
it's fine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I can do this now. Oh, nope. Okay.
Nope, can't.
Come on, Canon utility webcam app. Where's my zoom at? This
It's
thing's
fine.
supposed to zoom.
It's fine. I'm leaving.
I found myself following certain people because I don't know why, but then every time I've seen their post, I do like the eye roll or like, ugh.
Mhm.
If you find yourself doing that, just don't follow them.
Yeah,
I've kind of done that same thing where I'll just start unfollowing people that like, if I get inspired by you, then
Yeah,
I want you in my circle. But if you find yourself rolling your eyes like, oh, there's another post again, like, don't waste your energy on that.
right.
Not worth
Like
it.
2020 was pretty rough on us and a lot of people, and so I just decided like, there's a bunch of people I unfollowed. Like I don't know what's going on in the world anymore, as far as like Poshmark goes, but it's fine.
Adam. That's why I went from two
2
followers to
followers.
1.
Sorry, Adam.
Oh man. I never see
yeah.
y'all videos anymore. And y'all doing it live. I never seen where y'all been. We took
We've been
many months
building-
off. We've been building our shit.
We've been building.
Man,
Yeah.
I was telling you a couple weeks back how it felt so good to just unplug from all the YouTube
hmm
obligations and all the social media obligations and just
Yeah.
put our blinders on and build our stuff. Like
Yeah.
that felt so good.
And I think like comparison, talking about it being, in the comparison game, like it is so easy to compare, but it's really hard to get down on yourself when your shit's not in order. And that's what we've been doing the last few months is just getting our foundation
Few months, like in 8 months.
rock solid. Yeah.
Our last few 8 months.
I feel like finally in the last month, it's finally like Charles and I could pretty much walk away and from the business standpoint, like from the prep center, and it would pretty much run smoothly. There's some hiccups here and there, but that's normal.
It took a year, literally.
But it took a year.
We
Yeah.
just passed our 1 year mark, December 5th.
Yeah.
I did the very first network prep shipment for a client of 49 units.
hmm
And a year later is when we felt comfortable enough to start taking our own hours away from physically prepping things all day long
Yeah.
to now focusing back on other things. Like we're definitely want to get back into eBay more heavily. We have a whole upstairs to this
Mhm.
warehouse
We basically
just
moved.
dedicated to eBay.
We moved our warehouse and we put all of our eBay stuff upstairs, and then we just decided it
Haven't been
didn't
up there in a
exist.
while.
We were just pretended it didn't exist.
Yeah. So
We
like,
turned like 5-day handling on for our eBay store, so like nothing was selling, and that was fine because we were so busy, literally working so hard on everything else. Like doing 2 or 3 eBay shipments was so hard.
yeah.
It was like pulling nails. So
A year later,
here we are.
we're in a really healthy spot now. Like I feel rock solid about everything we built.
Yeah,
But it
for
took
sure.
us getting away from social media, and this all does kind of tie into that whole comparison thing.
Yeah.
Especially the major YouTubers busting out 3, 4, 5 videos a week, like high quality editing. Like I've told Ryan, we had Roots as some of our guest speakers at our Florida house, and I told Ryan right to his face, I'm like, I don't know how you'd keep up with that. It is so many hours behind the scenes that you guys don't even see that goes into creating that level of content.
Yeah.
So I used to compare myself to all these guys and be like, oh my gosh, I suck at YouTube compared to everyone else. Like, no wonder why our channel tanked. But now I've just fully accepted and like, you know what? I wasn't consistent. That was on me, no one else. I know that we've built our audience based on our personalities and people are drawn to us. So that's what we're going to work with now and just put our blinders on, focus on our own lane.
And we have a cool background now, so that should make us
and we
successful.
got this, the crazy part is, so I built the shelves, right? I don't know how loose
Nobody cares.
how loose this camera is. I built the shelves up high, not knowing that the camera was actually going to sit way lower than anticipated.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
kind of the 8-month recap.
That was my mic drop. Now I have to go take our kids home.
Good
They've
luck.
been at the office all day.
They've been troops today.
They have been such good kids. But it's time for them to go home. They're tired of us.
I'll be home soon.
Bye.
Are you wanting
everybody.
to do family walk, or do you want me to just do it later?
That
It's pretty cold out.
it's so cold.
All right, I'll do it later.
Okay.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so that's our little take on the whole comparison game. And like I said earlier, Instagram, and these are just my opinions, my thoughts. Of course, please utilize the comment section, have a conversation here. I want to hear what your thoughts are too. But I feel like for me, it's getting drawn into the Instagram side is where I've found myself in the past getting stuck with the comparison game most, because you'll scroll through and see someone that's like, oh my gosh, I just did $100,000 in sales this month. And you're like, wow, my 30K looks like change now. You have to get out of that. The moment you get out of that and you just learn to be proud of where you stand, right? Like it's game over after that. You have a different stride in your walk when you start to just be proud of where you are. Whether that's $500 in sales this month and that beat your last month of 400, whatever the case may be proud of where you are and be proud of your growth. What's up, dude? You want to say hi to the YouTube world? You haven't seen these guys in a while. Ugh. What you got to say?
Hi.
Hi. Say,
I made a heart.
what was the one you did one time? Do work. Remember that? What do you got to tell them? What do they need to do? Do work.
Do it. Daddy got a heart.
That is a cool heart. What do you guys think? This stuff, what's this called? Kinetic sand?
Yeah. It's cute.
This is like, I've never actually seen it in person before. It's like Rice Krispie treats. It's nasty feeling. Ew. Get out of here. I'll see you at home, okay? I don't think they saw you. Try again. Now jump. Oh, you did it. Get out of here, you goober. I'll see you at home, okay?
Okay.
Oh, man. Truly behind the scenes. No editing in this one, guys. That's the type of fun content I love to watch, though, is raw behind the scenes. No fancy editing, all that. So yeah, that's my take on comparing yourself. Now, how do I phrase this? When I learned to just start asking why someone else may be doing better is when my comparing myself to others kind of stopped in the defensive way. So like, instead of scrolling through Instagram, seeing somebody put up these big numbers, I was proud of my numbers. And I see their numbers, and then all of a sudden my numbers feel very small. And it's easy to get on the defensive, be like, well, they have blah, blah, blah. They have a warehouse. They have blah. Like, it's easy to put up those excuses, drop it. And when I started asking myself, okay, what could they be doing that is different from what I'm doing? Yeah, bud. Oh, you're going to show them? Ty's birthday is tomorrow. Ugh. So we had his birthday party over the weekend. Show him what you got. Here, that's the camera. There you go. Oh, man. I did not have a dinosaur that cool when I was a kid.
Did you have the Indominus?
No, Indominus wasn't even a dinosaur when I was a kid. All right, Mom's calling you. Get out of here. Yeah, don't forget your kinetic sand stuff. Lost my train of thought with that one. Man, kids are fun. I love those two. So when I started asking myself, what could they possibly be doing different than what I'm currently doing? And that would cause them to put up those types of numbers. It all came down to capital, like I mentioned earlier. These guys who are putting up 100K a month are not spending $1,000 on inventory. They're not spending 5K on inventory. They're spending a lot of capital up front to get that inventory to produce those sales. And I've seen it in our own business. Like I spent like 3 years just re-spending the same couple $1,000s every month. So we were hovering at about the same numbers. If I did like a whole average, it was probably between like 8 and 10K a month. Which isn't horrible. That's still great. But for us, like after doing it for 3 or 4 years, you think we would have grown, but no, it's because I spent the same money over and over and over. And finally, when I was able to loosen up some capital to keep reinvesting back into Amazon is when it went boom. And now we're actually on track. I was going to do an Instagram post about this. Almost. We're $200 away from pulling 50K this month. Not in December alone. That's my previous 30-day rolling. But if it keeps up, then yeah, December will be a 50K month for us. Now I don't ever say those types of numbers to be like, oh my gosh, look what we're doing. It's so cool. Like, no, I'm giving you guys firsthand experience that I know what it's like to be stuck at $8,000 to $10,000 a month. And yes, we're in Q4. Yes, sales are obviously inflated and spiked way more than normal, but 50K for me is still phenomenal. Last year, I hustled to get 40K on Amazon. It was 42, I believe, 42K in sales last December on Amazon. And I was out hitting all the retail arbitrage stores. I was out hustling. I was spending late nights doing the shipping. That was rough. That was a rough time to get that 42K. This 50K that's put up, not even exaggerating. I've spent less than, I'm going to average it out, but I've probably spent less than 15 hours a week to produce those numbers. Because I've learned to get more strategic. I've learned to get more into online arbitrage, a little bit of wholesale buying versus just going out and hustling all the hot toys out of the retail stores. Nothing wrong with that. That's still a kick-ass way to make money. But for me, it was, how can I keep up those numbers but cut down on my physical time? I got sick and tired of driving around the stores because I'd rather spend my holiday season being clocked out by 6 p.m. and spending time with my kids and my wife. And I'm able to do that now. Because I've been able to utilize all the things I've learned over the last 5 years. That's why I want to start condensing them down into these videos and just having conversations about it. So if you're comparing yourself to other people because they're putting up bigger numbers, just remember they're spending way more cash than you are, or they got better deals, better discounts. You never know their situation. Or try this technique. Instead of seeing a post, the second you feel that little bit of like envy kick in, that little bit of a defensive wall go up, well, it's easy for them. They have a team of employees, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, because I've had people bring it up, when I say that our numbers have grown, I've had a couple people mention, yeah, you've grown. You have a warehouse and you have employees that do your shipping. I would love to point out that even with the 50K numbers we're putting up, I would love to point this out. I actually do 100% of my own shipping, believe it or not. My team is we have about 6 employees. Yeah, 6 employees. And the team is dedicated to the clients. So I actually do 100% of my own sourcing. I actually do 100% of my own shipping as well. And luckily I've gotten pretty damn quick at it. So it doesn't take me a lot of time to do shipping anymore. And that's basically online arbitrage and a little bit of wholesale mixed in there. I've done maybe 10% retail arbitrage. And it's simply, I'm taking the stuff I'm finding online arbitrage. A lot of Target this year. Target had some great deals on stuff, and not the stuff that was going on leads lists. It's the stuff that people were not seeing because I do my manual sourcing on online arbitrage now. I use tactical arbitrage, of course, but I'm mixing in a lot more manual searching myself. And I'm finding deals that tactical arbitrage is missing. And they're not being put on leads lists. So there's a lot less competition to handle and deal with on there. So that's kind of the mixture of our business right now. But I bring all that up because when you see me post like, hey, we just crushed a 50K month, do not compare yourself to us the same way I don't compare myself to other people now. I put in way more capital into the last 6 months of our business than I ever have. Like for me, scary amounts, right? So if you are not putting up the same type of capital, you probably are not going to see the same type of results. So be proud of where you are in your progression with your business. Stop comparing yourself. Good questions, comments. That's mistake number one. Dive into some comments real quick. And I will do a little just broad Q&A for you guys too to end the session after we're done here. But being on day 71 of 75 hard, after we're done here, I have to go get my second workout in, which is going to be a 45-minute walk. Depending if Trista and the kids want to go with me, I'll do a walk. I'm actually kind of got some ideas rolling around in my head, a little bit of inspiration to do a half marathon again. I haven't done one of those since 2010. 2010, I did a half marathon and a full marathon. Destroyed my body. My knees were wrecked. I did all the wrong training. I did zero strength training. I was a twig. I was not in any type of running shape, and I managed to drag my butt 26 miles. I don't know how, but I got that done. So now that I'm in a lot better shape and I know how to actually train my body for certain events, contemplating doing that. So I may do a run tonight instead. What's up, Big Ed? Do you guys still sell at your building in McMinnville like you used to? We actually do not. So in our prior location that we had for 2 years, we would do these monthly warehouse sales. We would take between our Amazon customer returns, if they weren't sellable again back on Amazon or eBay for some reason, maybe just it wasn't worth the profit to make $2 or $3. I would stockpile that stuff. I would order liquidation pallets just for our local. And once a month, Portland pickers would come down. We'd have a great time for a couple days, open up the big warehouse doors and do a big public warehouse sale. Some of our best memories were hosting those sales. We had such a great time. But in our current location, we do not do that. Now that we're dealing with clients, we have thousands and thousands of units constantly being shipped out of here every single day. Not every single day. We do about 1,000 to 1,200 a day on average, but so that's 5,000 to 6,000 products per week getting pushed out of here. So there's just tables are filled with product all the time. So it wouldn't make sense for us to do a warehouse sale out of here. Yeah, Michael. The only person I compare myself to is myself a year ago. I'm crushing that guy. That is such a great, healthy way to look at it. Same thing I brought up earlier. Like last year, I know that I put up 42K and I had to hustle that 42K on in December on Amazon. I don't even know how many hours I logged between driving and shipping. And I was not nearly as efficient with the shipping side as I am now. So fortunately, I did the same thing where I compared myself with the guy last year and kicking some ass. Have you guys ever drop shipped? I have not drop shipped. I have zero desire. Eric, and then there's still those of us wondering what Instagram is. I'm hoping once I get ungated in certain stuff, I can really get going. I went sourcing today, maybe found 4 items, but I'm still in the process of ungating and thinking of stepping back, putting money back. The whole thing with like gated versus ungated, I tell people like focus on the categories that you are approved for, go hammer on those for a bit. And as you start to get some sales under your belt, some positive metrics, start applying and get auto approved, hopefully, or just go through a distributor and go the traditional route, order a minimum of 10 units with a distributor of a specific product or brand or category that you want to get approved for. Yeah, Adam nailed it right here. It sucks at times, but it will happen. One day you'll magically get approved for a bunch of things. That's exactly what happens. I did a marathon Netflix watching season. I'm doing that right now with Mandalorian season 2. Started last night. My rule for myself, because I have a very addictive personality. So this is why I had to cut booze out when I did, because I felt like I needed it to unwind at the end of the night. I knew that was very unhealthy. So this whole 75 hard thing came at a perfect time. So because of the addictive personality, if I get sucked into a show, like game over, I will call in sick to my own business so I can stay home and watch Netflix all day. My rule for myself, I'm watching Mandalorian. My rule for myself is I cannot watch a single show unless I am doing some type of cardio. So typically it's going to be on the treadmill we have in the garage. So that's where I'm watching that right now. Since I brought that up, I was thinking, because I do want to train, do a half marathon. I don't know if it's going to be an actual like event marathon I register for and get the medal and all that stuff. I'm good just to set a random date, 3 months out or something like that, 3 or 4 months out, and just do it myself. Just go hit the road and do 13.1 miles. But I was running it through my head. Would anyone be interested if I made this like an official virtual event? So there'd be a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. We'll do some type of official virtual event. We will come up with some type of cool looking medal we can mail out. I don't know. That was just a random thought in my head because it's fun to, it's rewarding to do these things by yourself, but it's even better when you have friends to do it with. And since we can't all do it together, thanks COVID, we might as well do it in a virtual stance. So if anyone's interested, please message me on Instagram. And I think what I'll do is I'll create a little group where I can keep people posted on a date coming up in the future. We can do that. What's your return rate like, and what do you do with your customer damage returns? Just dropping stuff over here. I can't give you an exact number because I haven't looked at my percentage of return rate. It's fairly low. It's probably the same as everybody else. Returns trickle in, once or twice a week for us right now. Of course, January comes, you're going to see it go up. It just does every year. But it's not too bad. What do you do with the customer damage returns? It gets categorized. So what happens is, if you don't know, on Amazon, I'll do a video to show you guys where to click and all this stuff. On Amazon, you can tell Amazon, hey, all of my customer returns I want mailed back to me automatically once a month or once every 45 days. You can tell it, the system, how often to give those back to you, or your stranded inventory, all that kind of stuff. So all that's shipped back to us here at the warehouse. I let it stockpile a little bit for, a week or two at a time. And then once I have a nice little pile, I'll go through it. If it's sellable again, like if it's mint condition, like good to go on Amazon, I'll just ship it back to Amazon, do it that way, or list it merchant fulfilled. If it is box damage or can't be sold back on Amazon, my next thing I'm checking is eBay. If for some reason it's a super low profit on eBay or just not worth the hassle of taking the photos, making the listing, and doing the shipping, I'll list it on Facebook Marketplace and hopefully just have someone come pick it up. Even if it's $5 and I don't have to do any work except for take a photo and post the listing, I'm not meeting anyone. That's my thing, is I have a warehouse. So I'm fortunate enough I can do that, where I've had tons of people that just no show, and it's no time out of my schedule because I'm not going to meet somebody. If you are in a different position, don't do that for $5, right? You got to have a minimum. So if you can get $20 and it's worth risking going and meeting somebody, of course, wear a mask, sanitize, caution. So that's kind of my tier system I use. If it's not worth at least $5 or something like that, it's just getting donated. So that's kind of our way that we handle all of that stuff. Hey, what's up, Will? Thanks for kicking arse. Network prep this fourth quarter for us. Will and his wife Jen have been phenomenal clients. We've seen these guys firsthand. Will can share his numbers in the chat if he wants to. I know he's publicly posted them up in groups before, but we've seen Will and his wife just like crush their numbers since working with us. It's been super cool to watch. Are you doing drop shipping or just OA then FM, or are you still sending it in for FBA? We do zero drop shipping. Never. I drop shipped. When was this? When the iPad Pro first came out, I think it was a few years back, basically about 5 years ago, because I got into like the e-commerce side, started doing a little bit of research. And I heard about drop shipping. I'm like, cool, if I can just not order the product and keep it here, I'm game. So I drop shipped successfully some iPad Pro cases from Amazon to eBay. And then once I ran into the issue where I had like 3 or 4 eBay orders come in, I went to go place the orders on Amazon. They were sold out. That's where it became an issue. I'm like, I don't like that. I had zero control over the stock, basically. So that was the last bit of drop shipping I ever did. I probably made like $20. So yes, what we do is we do online arbitrage or order from a wholesale supplier. We have everything shipped to us. I physically have it in my hands before it's listed anywhere, and then it's listed up as FBM on Amazon and FBA. I ship out, I'd say about 300 to 400 units a week right now for myself, and that's 100% done by me as well. I know some people, like I said earlier, some people have brought up like, oh yeah, you have a team to do your shipping. Like, no, I do my own shipping because they're shipping client stuff. Eddie C, what's up, man? What's your focus for next year? Will you dedicate more time to your prep business or Amazon store? Amazon store, definitely. The prep center side, we knew from the beginning building a prep center was going to be very difficult. It was way more difficult than I ever thought. Nearly have quit the prep center stuff probably about 2 or 3 times, legitimately. Like sat down, had discussions about just stopping it because it was extremely time consuming. Especially when COVID hit, we lost our team. Our team was not comfortable coming in for about 2 months. So guess who had to watch the kids? Trista. Guess who was left doing all the work? Well, Trista still came in. She gets credit. She came in, but I was putting in, 9 a.m. to midnight. I'm not proud of that, but I did 9 a.m. to midnight a lot of nights. If I had, I almost fell asleep on the floor a couple times. If I had an actual bed somewhere, I would have just slept at the warehouse several nights. So that was rough. And we knew this going into it, so that's why I stuck with it and went through it. We knew it would take about a year to get it somewhat automated to the point where I don't physically have to prep products myself anymore. I still do several hours a day because I do enjoy it. I like hanging out with the team, helping them get stuff done, mark those names off the board. I do enjoy that. But when it became an obligation for me to do nothing but prep 9 to 10 hours a day, that's where it became an issue. So now that it's mostly automated, our goal is to have a Texas location next. So Oregon will be kind of location number 1. Location number 2 will be Texas. And we'll do the same thing there, where now that we have the systems in place, it's not going to take me a year of prepping to figure it out again. So we can take the blueprint that we built here and apply it down in our second center and build that. So that's kind of like the next step, the next phase, but it's not going to be the focus of the year. The focus of the year is still going to be our own Amazon business. Definitely growing eBay back up again. I do have some private label ideas, a little bit different than traditional private label, but I have some ideas floating around that I think would do really well. I want to focus on those. And getting back into content. I definitely I loved the whole YouTube and social media break I took, but I definitely missed it. So getting back up and doing stuff like this and building our audience and creating content for you guys. What is your Pokemon distributor? Anyone that's willing to cut me a deal. I don't have an actual distributor I go to. I scour every corner of the interwebs, all the way from eBay and Mercari to distributor websites to I scour the internet and try to find a decent deal on packs. So I just had 150 evolution packs come in. Half the stack is here. I got the other half out there. So all these evolution packs, I paid about $7 to $7.50 for, which, it's a little bit cheaper than the going rate. Luckily the market value on Pokemon stuff has come down, which is great for people like me that want to buy it up and open up the packs. So I don't have an actual distributor. If anyone has evolution packs or Pokemon booster packs of any kind that you want to part ways with, please let me know, because I am thoroughly enjoying it. Hey, this is awesome. Been watching y'all since nearly y'all's start, and I've had a booth in a thrift store for years. Finally got off my butt, started Amazon, and made $700 this far. Thank y'all for your inspiration. That is amazing. Congrats on that. Love seeing stuff like that. Do you use Inventory Lab still? What are your go-to tools right now? Let me look on here. Will Murphy said he put up 32,000 in the last 7 days of sales. Couldn't do it without your team. Dude, that is incredible. Hat is off to you and the wife. That's amazing. Yeah, Will and his wife Jen, they've been the beast team. Every week, every Wednesday is their shipping day. So every Wednesday when the team comes in, they're like, all right, let's bust Will out. Let's get him done. Because his stuff, he takes up all the tables that we have. It's great. So Chris asked, do you use Inventory Lab still? What are your go-to tools right now? So I'll give you like my top tools that I use. And I do have an affiliate code for most of them. So if you want that, it's down in the description, or you can just message me. I'm not here to promote and do all that BS. If you want to support it, great. If not, cool. Inventory Lab, definitely number one. We use Inventory Lab every single shipment. So yeah, definitely recommend that for several different reasons. I'll be doing some videos on tutorials of Inventory Lab coming up soon. If there's any specific Inventory Lab videos you would like to see, please let me know, whether it's comment here or message me on Instagram. That way I'm keeping a master list of all the videos I'm going to be doing. So Inventory Lab. Aura is our repricer, so I definitely recommend, whether it's Go Aura. We just had Dylan on a few nights ago talking about that, so you can go check that video out. So whether it's Go Aura or a different repricer, just a repricer in general is a phenomenal way to kickstart your sales. Tactical arbitrage for online arbitrage sourcing is another big one. And that's kind of it. That's like the trio, right? There's a lot of other stuff you can get, but I feel like that's kind of the big three, at least for us. You can be successful without them. They're just very convenient on saving you time or helping you increase your sales. So those are kind of our top three. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. We've got a laundry list of different tools and softwares that we use, but those are kind of like the top three necessities. If I were to restart today, those are the first three I would be getting on. Oh man, are we doing any USPS shipping? Oh, USPS and their shenanigans. I had actually half of these packs. It was like a $500 box that I put up to get some of these packs. I watched this box on tracking go between the San Jose distribution center for USPS and Portland distribution center and back. I literally watched it update going back and forth 3 to 4 times before it came here. Never have seen that one before. Even my local, my daily USPS driver, she's like, I have no explanation for that. USPS is a nightmare right now. Late on tons of shipping, all that stuff. With that being said, I'm still shipping with them and blaming Amazon and the shipping carriers if anyone complains about it. I pre-wrote this little template that I can copy and paste over if I haven't had any complaints. So, knock on wood for that one. But I'm still using USPS. We also use UPS for all of our clients. Unless they're doing freight, we use UPS for all of the client stuff. And then FedEx, we use all three because FedEx we use for hazmat shipping for our client product. And then we also use them for a lot of return stuff too. So we've used all three. Obviously, USPS is the one that's having a lot of issues right now. UPS seems to be probably the most consistent that I've seen so far. Hey, there you go. Just pre-ordered the new Shining Fates set. I definitely am excited for that one. Would you sell a product with only a 10% profit margin, or do you have a minimum? I would sell something at 10% margin if it was volume and moving quick. And that's just kind of the nature of the game. You have this tiered scale, basically, when it comes to what your ROI or minimum profit percentage is. The tier typically is if I have fewer quantities, so if I can only get a hold of 1 or 2 or 3, I'm not flipping that for 10%. That's just not worth it. That's not worth the time and energy. But if I can buy quantity, right? If I can get 100 or 200 or 500 of something that's moving quickly and it's on one SKU, then yeah, I'm all in to do 10% on that. So if I'm only able to get one unit of something, like I better be doubling my money on that thing. And that's kind of like the loose tiered system. Of course, situation by situation basis here. There's certain cases where I have taken less quantity, less percentage, a little bit slower moving. Maybe it was just something that was so dirt cheap that I bought the stock out and just let it trickle in. We have one product that I bought, I don't even know, a year and a half ago, and we're still selling through them. I bought 280, if I remember right. And we're doubling our money on those, but they've taken a year and a half to sell through. They're super cheap. I sell them for $9. I got them for, I think, 80 cents each. They are just a couple a week, and they're very consistent, smooth sellers. So there's a tier system, and I know what mine is. I'm willing to be flexible depending on the situation. And some of you have to go through the process and figure that out for yourself too. I know people that won't touch a product unless they can do 50% ROI on it. And I also know people that will do 5% margins, but they're doing millions of dollars in sales. So every aspect is so different. Every business is run so different. What's up, Coast to Coast? Good evening. What are your qualifications for signing up for FBA? I don't believe there's any heavy set qualifications. Obviously, you got to sign up with your tax ID info and all that good stuff. But if you just go to the main sellercentral.amazon.com, you'll see click on the sign up page. It'll give you all the info you need right up front. All right. Number 1 was comparing yourself. Number 2, just get this one out of the way. Stopping shipments. I've seen this posted a couple of times where people are saying, in order to get your inventory shipped into Amazon and readily available for Christmas sales, your products had to be in by December 1st. So because it's past December 1st, they slow down on their shipping. Mistake. Amazon.com is available all 12 months of the year. Don't stop shipping just because we're too close to get in before Christmas. Just don't. You should still be hammering at your shipments. Even those of you doing eBay, you should still be listing on eBay. There's going to be a great month after December, whether it's people getting Amazon gift cards as presents and they're now buying throughout January. But January is typically really solid anyways. I've had some Januaries that are better than our Decembers. I have no explanation for it, but this just happened before. So I would definitely recommend, don't make that mistake of saying, well, can't get my stuff in before Christmas. I might as well just wait until January. No, people are still buying on Christmas Day, the day after Christmas. That little dip between Christmas Day and New Year's, it definitely dips. But after New Year's, it starts to pick back up again. Keep hammering at those shipments. I'm all about take time off with your family during the holiday season. But at the same time, you should be shipping. That's your number one thing you should be doing right now is shipping, whether that's doing FBM or that's doing FBA. But don't take your foot off the gas pedal just because you can't get your stuff into FBA right away in time for Christmas. Trust me, sales are still great for the other 12 months, right? Or the other 11 months after Christmas. So that's mistake number 2 that I've seen people make. I've made it myself in the past where I thought, well, they said if it's not in by December 1st, it's not going to be available before Christmas. So I'd say, well, I'm just going to wait till January to start shipping more. Nope. You should be sourcing and you should be shipping. Those are your main priorities as an Amazon FBA seller. Questions? That's pretty cut and dry on that one. Caitlin. Okay, this was something I was wondering about. I picked the worst month to come in. No, you did not. You may have picked one of the best months to come in because you can see the potential, and that's going to help gear you up for next year. Like you and I are kind of in the same position. My Amazon journey started November 15th, 2015. So I got in and saw the immediate I was able to watch all these people on Facebook and some of the YouTubers back in the day. There wasn't a lot of them, but there was a couple of YouTubers back in the day. Instagram reselling community wasn't really a thing back then. I feel like Instagram came in like a year and a half later, but I was able to see the potential that this whole Q4 thing had. And it got me excited for the next year because I knew what to expect and I was going to be ready for it. So I would argue that you actually came in at the best time because you can now look and absorb and learn as much as you can about this crazy time we are in, this season of Q4, and utilize that knowledge for next time. Do you have to have a sole proprietorship or LLC to buy wholesale? It depends on the type of wholesale we're talking about. If you're talking about wholesalers, which are really liquidators is the actual term. These are people that are buying, overstock, shelf pulls, customer return stuff that's damaged. It's all liquidation. The wholesalers typically won't require much. Some of them require a resale certificate. Some of them require I haven't personally ran into one that requires an LLC over sole proprietor. I may be wrong on that. That's just my personal experience. But if you're ordering from an actual distributor or an actual brand of manufacturer level, you will need everything to be legit. Most of them are going to want you to have some type of commercial address. They want you to have a resale certificate or a permit put in place. They want you to have an LLC. They want to work with actual companies, actual businesses. They don't want to work with somebody that's hustling part-time out of the garage, right? That's just not what these brands and distributors want to work with. Can you wiggle your way in with some of them? Of course, right? There's always situations where you can, but at the end of the day, if you want to work with the big dogs, you got to be a company. And that's a mentality thing first, is to look at yourself and what you do as a business. You are a company. That's a very difficult thing to wrap your head around and grow into in the beginning, because in the beginning, it's a side hustle, right? Side hustle network. We teach this stuff. There's phases in your entrepreneurial journey as a reseller. Most of the time you're starting as a side hustle to make a few extra $100 a month. I think that's where most people genuinely start, is just wanting to make a few $100s extra per month, whether that's going to paying off some debt, going to travel expenses, maybe to help take some of that pressure off your spouse needing to bring home the bread. It starts as a side hustle. And then once that side hustle starts to make a couple $100s a month, then it turns into a couple hundred a week. And then you're at 500 a week, 1,000 a week. Then you're like, holy cow, it feels more than just like a hobby or a side hustle now. It's starting to feel like a legitimate business. Then you grow into like phase 2, which is almost like that reselling business model, not just side hustle, but now it's a reselling business. When you start to grow your reselling business, typically it's you inside of your garage or your little corner in a second bedroom, but you're building this thing out of your home, right? And you start to build this, you're putting in the midnight hours, you're grinding, you're flipping products, you're reselling, you're shipping, making the profit. When you start to make several $1,000s per week or per month, and then it starts to feel like a real business. And then the next thing is, okay, let's look at some space, whether you get a little office space, a warehouse. You start to hire someone to come in and take your eBay photos. You hire someone to help you do your FBA shipping. Then it feels like a company, right? And that's kind of the scale we're at right now, what it feels like. There's a massive difference between now and a year ago. A year ago, I felt like we just ran a reselling business. Now I feel like we run a legitimate company where we employ 6 people. Tristan and I own this thing. We're still in here hustling and grinding the same way we always have been, but we're so much more efficient with our time. We're not just hustling. We're working on implementing and improving systems. And I feel like that's one of the differences between running a business and running a company. Is a company is built on systems. You can hustle your way to 6 figures running a business, but to grow beyond 6 figures, or to do 6 figures in less time, you have to implement systems and you have to keep improving on those systems. So I feel like you start at this side hustle journey, and then it grows into a reselling business, and then you have an actual company running. And that all leads to when you can approach a brand or distributor as, hey, we are a distribution company, versus, yeah, we sell on Amazon. Big difference between the two. Companies are going to be the ones that these wholesale people want to work with. Totally a side tangent. Hopefully that made sense to people here. All right, crew. I got about 5 more minutes. I'm going to hop off of here, go get my run in, and then call it a night. And I'll be back on here in a few nights. Keep up some of these not bi-weekly, we'll just call it multiple times a week show. My brain is fried right now. Hopefully all that made sense. And I know that each person is going to take away something different out of these topics. I tell people all the time, especially when we do speaking events where we're in front of an audience speaking, I always open up with this. What I'm about to say for the next 30, 45, 60 minutes, you're not meant to absorb every single word. You're just here to absorb that one little nugget, that one little phrase, that one little tip that I give that sparks an action for you to take that you're going to then implement and see a difference in your business with. So over the last hour, how long have I been on here? Exactly an hour, actually. So over the last hour that I've been on here speaking, I'm not wanting you to hear every single word and take something out of every single word. It's just listening to that one little thing that may be enough for you to take your business from here to here, right? Those tiny little increments, year over year, are how you build a great, stable company. I feel like we're in a super fortunate and blessed position where, like, it's so mind-boggling some days to be on the prep line and there's 6 people around us, and Tristan and I have talked about this, how cool it feels to know that we're supporting these families now. That's crazy. Like, selling product is fun, making profit is fun, but when you can look around and you are helping support your team and their families financially, that's a pretty cool feeling. And that's where I feel like running a company is the shit. Absolutely love it. And I want that to be a feeling. Not everyone wants to hire a team and like have a warehouse. Like, I'm not saying it's for everybody. It's not by any means. That's a whole different conversation. It's not for everybody. But for those of you that love being involved with a team and run and operating on that level, there's nothing to replace that. It's just super cool. I love it. Last question. When you sign up sole proprietorship or LLC for reselling Amazon, eBay, what's the business structure? Could you be a little more specific with that question? It's pretty cut and dry. As a sole proprietor, you just use your regular social security number. I always have to caution, I am not a CPA. I recommend you listen to Mark from Not Your Dad CPA. He can walk you through all this stuff. Sole proprietor just means it's you. You don't have like a business identity tied to you or anything like that, but it's just your own social security number, and you're running it that way. LLC separates you personally from the business. And there's, pros and cons. You can look all that stuff up. As far as eBay goes, not much you need to worry about there, right? eBay, I feel like there's you just run it like you normally would. There's no big difference. Amazon is where, if you have an LLC, then there's certain ways you need to run that and set your stuff up. All right, my friends, that has been our time together for the evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Chaz Side Hustle Network. If you're not following us on Instagram, I typically do daily behind the scenes little mini vlogs on our stories mode. So you can look up at the Side Hustle Network on Instagram, follow us there. And if you guys have any questions, I'm back in my Instagram inbox every single day answering questions inside of there. So you can always hit us up, ask any questions. If you need some advice on anything based on my own experience, I can help you out. But if it's questions about stuff I have no experience with, typically I have a decent sized network. I can plug you in with someone who knows what they're talking about with different topics. So thanks for tuning in. Peace out, crew. See you next time.